Red meat can be an important part of a healthy diet. Meats like beef, venison, and bison. These meats are full of vitamins B6 and B12. These vitamins help maintain healthy brain function, and they also provide lots of energy. This recipe calls for 2 pounds of ground beef. I often use 1.5 pounds of ground beef and 1/2 pound of ground pork sausage instead. The flavor combination makes an outstanding tasting meatloaf. If you like a little more heat in your meatloaf, use the hot pork sausage and add a little jalapeno pepper to it as well. For this recipe, you'll need 1/2 cup of onion, finely chopped, and 1/2 cup of red bell pepper, finely chopped. Then take your 1.5 cups of fine breadcrumbs, mix it in a separate bowl with 1/2 cup of V8 juice, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Add your egg to your meat. If you're using beef and pork, both, mix those together first before you add your eggs, and that way the egg will be distributed evenly. Once the egg is distributed throughout the meat, that's really important for holding the meat together. Then add your bell pepper, add your onions, and add your breadcrumbs. Mix this all together so that you have, in every single bite of meatloaf, you have some pepper, you have some onion, and the breadcrumbs are mixed throughout. The breadcrumbs and the egg are what holds the meatloaf together. So it's really important to make sure that everything is thoroughly mixed. And I do this in small batches instead of dumping everything in all at once. It just works out better for me to do it this way. Then form your meatloaf. You want it just wide enough so that every single slice is the same size. You want it in a rectangle, actually. Bake this at 425 degrees for 25 minutes. And after 25 minutes, you will start to glaze. And so while it's cooking, go ahead and mix up your glaze. You'll have 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of ketchup, and 3 tablespoons of spicy browned mustard. That's it. That's the whole glaze. You can add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce if you like. That's what I did. Just gives it a little bit of extra tang. Microwave the glaze for just about 30 seconds just to melt the sugar. Then take your meatloaf out of the oven, mop up any extra grease with paper towels, and then start glazing. You will glaze 3 different times during the whole cooking process. The first glaze is after 25 minutes. You take it out and glaze. The second time you glaze is after 10 more minutes. And then put the final glaze on. The way to know for sure that your meatloaf is done is by using a meat thermometer. When your meat reaches 165 degrees internally, it's done. This is the best meatloaf you ever put in your mouth. Meatloaf is one of those foods that tastes better the next day. It even freezes well. Enjoy!